Welcome to Glasgow, the financial city of Scotland. And you'll be surprised how daring Kenyans can be when it comes to doing business here. There is a couple, Mr. and Mrs. Mathew Ndung'u, who are running a successful bar and restaurant and other businesses in the hospitality sector. Midnight at Calabash Bar and Restaurant, and the joint is on the crescendo with African beats that attract all and sundry.
No, I want when it's sizzling.
In the kitchen, nothing is left to chance. Outside on the streets, the day has just begun, so to speak. It is a bar and restaurant comparable to none in Glasgow city centre. The owners, Mr. and Mrs. Mathew Ndung'u, are hands-on, busy welcoming clients. And the saying that we live in a global village makes a lot of sense. Guess what? This is Professor John Strathers, the Chancellor of Mount Kenya University. What is he doing here? This is his home country, and this is his favorite eatery.
I know the owners very well, and I try and pop in whenever I can.
So you are a nyamachoma,
Ugali guy, I like nyamachoma, yeah.
Ugali.
Oh yeah, ugali, yeah.
Which you also find in Kenya when you visit.
Oh yes, yeah.
Calabash Bar and Restaurant has a long history.
When we came to Scotland, I discovered that there was a need, one, for our African people where they can have a place to call their own, and also I wanted to bring something else to the Scottish people, a taste of Africa, which they had not experienced before.
The other reason that drove the couple into venturing into this business is the isolation they say they experienced as foreigners.
People might say there is no racism in UK or in abroad. There is a lot of racism, I would tell you through experience, because in most cases we could want to go out, or our people could want to go out, but when you go at the door, they'll just tell you, not today.
So we found ourselves providing a service that was in great demand, very, very great demand. And we've never looked back since. Though we originally envisioned only probably providing this service for Kenyans and other like-minded people, we were soon inundated with requests from all corners of the world.
In this restaurant, one finds cuisines from all corners of Africa.
We serve food from South Africa. We sell borovos. We sell pap. We sell what you call murio from Zimbabwe. We sell food from West Africa. We do iseu, which is goat head. We do jollof rice. We do egusi. We do banku from Ghana. We do coconut rice. And we also do pilau rice from to cater for our Middle East Africans, and a few other curries. We also do food like katogo and matoke for our Ugandan customers. We have nyamachoma from Kenya.
The couple says initially it was not easy to get foodstuff locally, but now there are many suppliers in the city.
I remember there was a time when we used to have to get someone to put them in a suitcase to bring them all the way from Kenya. But fortunately now we are a little bit more relieved because we can be able to source them locally. We have one Kenyan lady who's opened a lovely shop and she's able to supply most of these products. We also have a couple of Nigerian and Ghanaian people who have opened shops, and they've happily been able to procure and stock most of the kind of stuff we have.
The Ndung'us are important employers here. They have 26 employees currently.
We also run a recruitment agency called 24-hour Staff. We supply interpreters in the hospitals and in law offices for people who come here who cannot be able to speak English.
Now here at the restaurant, I've met Vanessa Fletcher, a friend of the Ndung'us, and she's a lawyer by training with passion in art. And she tells me she's contributed a lot in beautifying this place. So Vanessa, tell us, how did you meet the Ndung'us? How do you know them? And what do you do with them exactly?
Well, I was very lucky to discover this gem of a restaurant in Glasgow, which not many local people really know about.
Yes.
Because it's under the ground level, it's in a basement here, and the doorway, it's not very obvious what's here. But I heard about it, and I came down and I met Elizabeth, who is the mastermind, the spirit and soul of the Calabash restaurant, and she made me so very welcome, as she makes everybody who comes here so very welcome. And then over time we were talking, and they discovered that I was interested in painting, and the walls were quite bare, so I started painting here. I thought maybe we should just put some paint on these walls.
This is where you started.
I started, and then it went right round. And today I'm going to do a little bit more. So I help Elizabeth with decorating and designing and ideas. And we run an art class on a Saturday for children.
Show us more. The Ndung'u, however, warns that it is not easy to venture into restaurant business in Glasgow.
You need a lot of capital. Two, the licensing law in Scotland is very, very strict. You have to get health and safety certificates. You have to get environmental health certificates. You also have to do things like risk assessment. All these things combined is a lot of work and a lot of effort.
Mathew, on the other hand, is not yet done with education.
At the moment, I'm writing my PhD at the University of West of Scotland, where I've decided to major in, again, my area of interest, which is human rights law. And that's what I'm busy doing, and hopefully with a bit of luck, I should be done in the next 15 or 16 months.
Mathew graduated with a law degree from the University of Nairobi in 1989. He later practiced in Kenya as an advocate of the High Court before relocating to Scotland in 2002 with his family. He and his wife began life here as students while raising their family.
It was really one thing leading to another. And like any adventure, it begins at one point, and you have no way of knowing which way it's going to progress. So you follow the adventure as it unfolds.
Elizabeth has a bachelor's degree in hospitality business. Mathew and Elizabeth, a very enterprising Kenyan couple in Glasgow. We now take a short breather for our Miles Away segment.
Today on Miles Away, we tour the city of Glasgow. Glasgow is Scotland's busiest and most populous city with a population of about 600,000. Councillor Eva Bolander is Glasgow's current Lord Provost, a position she has held since 2017. Situated on the River Clyde, the industrial city is famous for its shipbuilding heritage. It is further known for its beautiful landscape and rich history. The city's most significant historic building is Glasgow Cathedral. Built in the 12th century, The cathedral receives thousands of visitors annually. In 2014, Glasgow hosted the Commonwealth Games, in which Kenya won 25 medals, 10 gold, 10 silver, and 5 bronze. And that's miles away. My name is Michael Zimanji.
Welcome back. We are featuring Mathew and Elizabeth, a Kenyan couple in Glasgow who are running a successful bar and restaurant. For them, they are not just business people, they are mentors and community leaders. We followed them to a ceremony that is known in Gikuyu culture as Itega, meaning the introduction of a new baby to the extended family.
We got the Mr. Jenga, the master of ceremony.
We also accompanied the Ndung'us to a fundraising meeting for a patient who Kenyans living here were supporting to travel to India for treatment. Back to the bar and restaurant, and business continues. The eating and dancing is still going on.
Here in UK, a restaurant, you are supposed to have cutlery, you are supposed to have forks and knives and white tablecloths and a table set. So to be able to convince the authorities that we are a restaurant, but our culture is different, that it doesn't matter, we do not need forks and knives when you are having your food, was quite challenging. We had to convince, to get even the lawyers and photos and trying to get pictures of African places and to get them to come and experience our food.
Mathew and Elizabeth have 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls. The family has grown. They are now proud grandparents of 11 grandchildren. They warn that the culture here can be negative to African norms when it comes to bringing up a family.
You come to this other end of the world and you find that the churches are mostly empty. There's no strong religious feeling, if I may use that word. We even have quite a substantial part of the population that believe that there's no God. They don't subscribe to any religion. And unfortunately, it's very sad when you're trying to bring up young people, and that is the environment in which you're bringing them up, because of course some of it will rub off on them. So you have to work 2 times harder to keep them where you need them to be.
Do you still have your connection with your mother country, back home? What is it that you still do with your country? Or you are just here? The impact back home?
Yes,
remittances?
Yes, I go home 4 times a year with my family. Although my family has now become a bit big, so it's getting a bit expensive. But we go home 4 times a year. We still have a huge family back home. And at the same time, we are also engaged in various programs to kind of help our villages and our people to also broaden up and widen up. And that includes, from an education perspective, from employment perspective, we try to do our bit as best as we can.
Far away from their home country, but determined to succeed. And like many other Kenyans we've interviewed in the diaspora, the couple's message is, it's never easy to reach there. And that's how we end our show today. I'm Alex Chamwada saying bye-bye from Glasgow in Scotland.